Another quick attempt right there. Going for a 6. Oh yeah. Oh, he's very motivated now. Yep. Come on now. For another. Oh! Yeah, he's waiting for that moment. You know the mimicking is real right here. You know what he's gonna do. You know what he's gonna shoot. You know what he's gonna shoot. Can he make another? Shoot it! No way! Unbelievable! No freaking way! Well, you saw that right there, man. That, as you know, is a year ago from this very day, which is August 12th. That tribute game that I did for Steph Curry's gold medal Olympic performance, and I'm talking about legendary performance. You remember when he made 8 threes and the last 4 were 4 straight threes, including the last one, which was over a double team? Yeah, I was very inspired to do this tribute, which I did on this very day. And in this game, if I remember correctly, I got to score 24 points to go along with 8 required made threes. Now, I don't remember. I'm trying to remember if I made at least one. But I think I had a caveat where I can make, I have like 8 free attempts or something like that. But I can remember more, as shown here that you saw earlier. The last 3 threes that I made to meet the requirement, where they were 3 straight, not 4 straight. I wanted to make 4 to match Steph's, but that did not happen until the Erich birthday game. Or ironically, the last game of the regular season, which, you know, I was down huge in the LM3F game, and then I needed all 3s in the last 2 minutes, you know, in the 2 minute period for me to win it. You know, it was a close one, right? How many threes did I make in that stretch? Because I was down 45 and 20. I think I was down 45 and 20. So it was, let's see, or the Erich game. It was it was 23, 26, 29, 33, 37, 41. Hold on. Yeah, I think that was I think that was 6. And then I made another 3 to basically, I think to tie it or so. And then I made the half court shot to win it. So yeah, I think I'm trying to remember. So it was because I was down by 25, right? So it was 45 and 20, and then I made 3, 6, 29. I think that was 33, 37, 41, and then I just remember making 4 straight threes, and then after that, I think I made another 4, I think, out of a timeout. I'm trying to remember correctly, because I wasn't attempting free throws. It was all 3-point attempts in the timeouts. So yeah, I think I made a 4 on the timeout to tie it at 45, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously in the last 2 seconds, the epic ending, which was the half court shot to win it 50 to 45. So that was the Erich birthday game where I made 4 straight threes, and to which, when I made the first 3, that was an actual 3 to get to 29 points. So which by then I was only down by 16, then the next 3 were actually 4s. Yeah. So I mean, there are 4 straight 3s, but the last 3 were 3 straight 4s. So there was 33, and then 37, and then 41, and if like I'm really trying to remember. I think I made another 4 to tie it at 45. I think. So, you know, my mind serves me correctly, because I remember the last shot that I made, which was the half-court shot to end it with a win. Because remember, I lost in Hollandfield Park, and you know, I was kind of in a slump in September at the time, because I was already qualified for the Bird Season tournament, and so I had home court advantage. But I didn't want to lose like this, right? Because at that point I was like, even though I didn't really give a damn, I was like, yeah, I don't want to go out like that, just because it was the last home game, especially since you know, I was free from a possible jury duty that happened that day. Because remember, the whole week I had to call in, and you know, I wanted to make sure that I was able to do Heritage's birthday, which is, you know, the last game of the regular season, which was in Heritage Park. And boy, that was a hell of a game. You know, despite, you know, it got everything it's needed. Like, so many missed shots. I was down big. You know, I started out pretty well. I was like, what, 7-0. Started, you know, I made my first 3. I was on 1 of 1, and then, you know, and then all of a sudden I was starting to miss, and then I was down big. And next thing you know, the next, you know, at the end of the first activity, I think I had like 9 rounds, I think, and so I was down badly. I was down by 25, and then I needed to shoot only 3-pointers in the next part of the activity, which was 2 minutes. 2 minutes, I was like, oh man, it's not gonna be enough time. And boy, I mean, one of the most legendary games I ever played. Yes, that one to me was more reminiscent of the Steph Curry gold medal game, but in this case for me, I was down by 25, and I made 8 threes, including the half court shot and the 4 straight, you know, to win it, ultimately win it. Yes, the buzzer beating half court shot. But sorry, man, I kind of had to ramble off. I knew at some point I was going to bring up the Erich birthday game where I made the 4 straight threes. Here it was actually 3 straight. You know, the tribute game for Steph's gold medal Olympic game. So yeah, I made 3 straight, but they were long threes. They were actually, I think, 30-footers. So those last 3 that I made to meet the requirement of 8, that was, you know, those were 3 30-footers, 3 straight 30-footer shots. So yeah, that was got to be one of the most memorable games I've ever had. And I remember I screamed. I was like, oh! I was like, oh! Like after I made the 3rd straight 3. Man, woo! What a performance! And I remember on that very day too that there was an earthquake that happened, and it was very sunny on this day. Today it's sunny too, but it's like kind of hazy sunny, right? Last year on this day it was very, very sunny, and I'm trying to remember if it was, I mean, it was hot, but it was not like ridiculously hot. As far as humidity, I don't remember. I don't think it was that humid, but yeah, I remember there was you know, I was about to pass by this park right here, my home park, where I did the tribute game. Yeah, that was, I remember there was an earthquake that happened, and that was around the time that Armando went to lunch, and you know, so that was like around 12, and you know, yes, I still in my friend circle at the time, right? And so you know, and then next thing you know, the performance, and woo, I was like, yeah, son. It felt good. It's one to remember. As memorable as Steph's actual gold medal performance is for the USA to win the gold medal, this one is just as memorable. Even though the Erich birthday one was a lot more memorable, but you know, this one has to be in the top 5 of best shoot-around games ever. And in the anniversary of this day, I was in John Marshall Park second visit, last game of the John Marshall Park Series, I did the home one here at Cereals Park East, where, I actually, I won a close one, man. So it was so close of a win that, it felt like I was just missing so many shots, and even the floaters. And, I think I was up by, I think I was only up by one at the time. And had I missed the floater, like, despite getting the offensive rebound, if had I missed that, I would have lost. And I ended up winning by 3. So that was a moving target score, like on the second part. Here, like compared to the last time I was in John Marshall, where I made 0 threes with a different ball, and that was part of the 4-game losing streak I had. This one was an absolute incredible comeback performance where I made 4 threes, 2 straight of each. The first set of 2 straight was a 3. That was actually the first 3 I made. So I was a 1 of 1, and then the 4-pointer, so I went 2 of 2, right? So, and then the last 2 threes that I made were to actually close out the game to where I won by 11. So I was up. So I'm, after I missed the mid-range shot, where I was still up by 5. Had I missed a 3, it would have been a close game at 36-34. And so, I attempted a 3, another 3, and I made that one. That one went up by 8, which is 39, and then another one because I held the ball for 10 seconds, so I didn't really need to take another 3, but I did anyway, and it was kind of like a, I guess you can call it a one-legged 3, which is I try to do the off-balance shot that Steph has done, and that one, much to my surprise, I made it too. So at the buzzer, no, that was not a game-winning shot. That was a front-running 3-point shot to put myself up and to win it by 11. To win it by 11. Sorry, trying to put the ball in here. But yeah, man, incredible performance as well. So proud that I needed to better my day. I know I just needed like a positive topic to talk about, because I know that it was just a lot of talk over, what the Julio statement and all that. But, I needed the shoot-around game. Had I lost, I probably would have, my day probably would have sucked. But I had some hope that I was going to win. And, to my credit, I still won. So, yeah. I mean, there's not much else to, as far as like where my record's at. I have now won, what am I, 60, I'm now 66 wins. So I need 4 more to meet the requirement for the bird season tournament, which would be 70. I'm not that far off, so I got another road game coming, which is in Sunshine Park. So, it's nice. It's a little bit nicer out here as far as the temperatures go compared to yesterday. But anyways, yeah, man, what a win on the anniversary game. So I just thought I'd share this, man, because this was a hell of a performance from last year. And I remember we had an earthquake on this very day, and that happened like an hour, like I guess a little bit less than an hour before I left, and ultimately to make one of the greatest performances on my shoot-around season, 2024. I feel like watching it again just for the sake of it. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. So you guys let me know what you think. This has to be one of the most legendary performances I ever had in the shoot-around season, or shoot-around general. All right, peace out, everyone.